Here we are, just a couple little boys, average boys with above average fantasy football knowledge. This is episode 42 of the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 10 is in the books. Hopefully you're in the lead in your league, but if not, we're here to give you some helpful tips for week 11, who to pick up on the waiver wire. Listen, you got to pad the wire, man.
It's time to pad the wire.
You got to pad that wire. It's very important, okay? And we're here for you, okay? Me and T.
Your boy T in the house.
Boy T is in the house. And listen, there's no Anthony. You know why? We kicked him off. He's no longer on the podcast. Just kidding. He's still on the podcast. He just can't make it today. Could you imagine it? That's how we just do it. Yeah.
So breaking news.
Breaking news.
The band's broken up.
Nah, Anthony just had a little work to do. She had to go to the DMV. So, but listen, me and Tyler, we did our fucking research. We did the click clacks on the keyboards. We got some stuff for you. So, get prepared for the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. You ever noticed in ESPN when it's like, this show is brought to you by... Isn't that
Dodge Caravan.
Dodge Caravan.
I don't know why that's the first thing that pops in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. Gillette Fusion.
For sure.
The following show is brought to you by... It's like, why is there a comma right there? Brought to you by...
Arby's. They've got the meats.
Who the fuck eats Arby's? I don't understand how that's still a company. Anyways, enough Arby talk. Enough Arby's talk. Let's get into some RBs. You want to throw out your fucking fantasy football team? Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let's go. You want to start off with some quarterbacks?
You want to do a little Monday night recap?
Oh, yeah, we can do that first. I feel like I always do that. Let's start off with quarterbacks. You're like, well, let's do this first. Okay. Sounds good.
We got to get better at this.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's okay.
False start.
Dude, that's what it is. It's natural, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's switch to a little Monday night recap here. You know, the Seahawks went to San Francisco, played against the 49ers. It's a really good game here. It's like back and forth. Yeah, back and forth.
It was a fun game to watch.
I just got to say, I had Steelers. I had the Seahawks money line to hit a ticket. So this game kind of drove me nuts because it's like, oh, they were down 10-0, and I was like, whatever, they're going to get blown out. Then they're up 21-10, and I'm like, let's go. And then all of a sudden it's 21-21, and I'm just like, they're going to dig it.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Going into overtime like that?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I felt so bad for that kicker. Backup kicker to Robbie Gould.
Yeah. I mean, he made his, first three?
He choked so hard.
3 out of 4 is not bad.
Yeah. But
no, I'm just kidding. I guess when it's the game's on the line.
Yeah, when it's to win the game. I mean, they literally would have won.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't blame him though. Dude, you know what's funny? As I was watching that game,
he definitely choked.
Yeah, but I was watching that game, dude, and I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, man, I was like, man, babe, could you imagine that? I was like, dude, I would for sure choke. There's no way I could do that. And she was like, well, yeah, you would. And I was like, hey, whoa, chill. Wait a second, you can't agree to that so fucking quick.
That's pretty fun. I mean, you got rookie guy, Monday Night Football, the spotlight's on you. I mean, but
you got to think about all that stuff. I bet.
Yeah,
when you're going
the mentality, especially I think for being a field goal kicker in general, I think most of it is mental than anything. You know,
right?
You just got to be in the right mental. Well, you got to be at the the ice in your veins of like it doesn't matter the situation. Like it's muscle memory. Like I'm just gonna go kick this ball that I've done 100 times.
Right.
It doesn't like you got to phase all the noise out.
Right.
And
I mean, I play in soccer. I could see kind of the form of like kicks a lot actually, and you can tell like when you're trying to kick the ball up, you got to finish up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got to lean back and finish up. But he did like a soccer kick where your leg crosses over.
Yeah,
and that's exactly where the ball went.
He shanked it rough. Yeah, it's super rough.
Because I mean, everything was perfect. It was play.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough kicker talk.
Yeah, fucking kickers. Anyway, so Russell Wilson, pretty much. I think he's got to be the lead candidate for MVP right now. He's been playing. Yeah. I think I saw something. He leads the league in passer rating, touchdowns, and most comeback or game-winning drives. Or something like that.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, him or Lamar Jackson for sure. But yeah, Russell Wilson's a stud. Chris Carson's a stud. I guess some of the big news here would be Tyler Lockett. He got injured. Right. He went to the hospital. What was the report? Did you see it?
There's something going on with his leg. I don't remember exactly.
He's got the leg.
He's got the leg. We were talking about it in a couple.
But he had to stay overnight in Seattle, or not Seattle. He had to stay overnight at a hospital, correct?
Right.
Okay, so that's never good.
Yeah, just with that. He said severe leg injury.
Well, that can't be good.
Yeah, so they didn't really go too much into it. Leg contusion.
Leg contusion. Okay, I'm not even sure what a contusion is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but it's not good. I
Let's
mean,
Google it.
you
Google
just
it. What is a leg contusion? You can Google that. You can.
I'll pull it up.
Well, just while he's pulling that up, so I guess if anything happens to Tyler Lockett, we're actually going to touch on Josh Gordon here when we go into waiver wire, but he's widely available, so he's could be a main or a top waiver priority this week. Just getting a little bit more acclimated to the system.
Like contusions, most contusions simply require time to heal. Take anywhere from a few days to a couple weeks to heal. Bone contusions take a bit longer, usually 1 to 2 months. So if it's a bone contusion,
yeah, that could be pretty bad. So
yeah,
just got to keep an eye on it. I mean, obviously, it was the overtime, and he was just kind of on the sideline. Tyler Lockett was no helmet. He wasn't even going to the game. He looked pretty sad. So you could just see it on his face. You could see he knew something was up. So like I said, if he's not there, that's probably obviously the biggest news from the Monday night game.
right.
And then maybe just also you had Manny Sanders get hurt. He left.
Right.
So that kind of opens the door for Deebo Samuel. We'll touch on him too as well. But yeah, so just got to monitor those guys and see what's going on. Manny Sanders and Tyler Lockett. Kittle didn't play. Hopefully, if you had Kittle and you left him in your lineup, you pivoted to Hollister. We touched on him. If you had Kittle, you can move to Hollister. And he actually had a really good game. I'm starting to think too, like whoever the tight end is in Seattle is just going to be like fantasy relevant.
Right.
I mean, because you saw it a couple years with Jimmy Graham. All those touchdowns in the red zone. We saw it with Disley. Before he got hurt. Now we're seeing like an emergence of Hollister, and I'm thinking it's just like the system and Russell Wilson's ability when they get within the 5
it's
to
just knowing
target the
when,
tight end.
It's just knowing when these guys go out, who it's going to be. Because I mean, I think a lot of people, and I was even part of it. So I picked up Luke Wilson once Will Disley went out, thinking maybe he would take over that role. But it's just like hard to know exactly who it's going to be. But
For sure, yeah. Anything else you want to touch on?
I think there was another 49er receiver last night that got injured as well, but I think it's not as severe. But
as far as the running backs like Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida, I don't think they did anything
spectacular.
Jumped off the page and shit like that. But kind of a weird, like, they put up a lot of points, but then like a lot of defense in this game.
Right.
A lot of defense. All right, I guess we can just kind of jump into this Bad the Wire. We jump into these quarterbacks.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Brutus. What are we doing?
Quarterback.
Pad the wire.
Pad the wires.
We gotta pad the wire, baby. There's a couple of different guys. Who's your number one quarterback at this week?
Well, I'm just thinking. I mean, I feel like quarterbacks. You don't really go to the waiver wire too much for quarterbacks unless you're streaming quarterbacks. So I was kind of just looking at different like possible streaming matchups for quarterbacks. You got 4 teams on a bye. You got the Seahawks, the Packers, the Giants, and the Titans. So I mean, obviously Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Those are 2 quarterbacks that are out. I mean, maybe if you're in a double quarterback league, Danny Dimes is out, and then Ryan Tannehill, who's actually been, I want to say he's been the QB 10 overall. He could be better actually, but he's been like a top 10 quarterback in the 4 games that he started this year. So he's also out as well. So if you got him, but one guy I kind of just noticed that was widely available that I feel like should just already be available, but that's Kirk Cousins, and 40% available. He's actually the QB 8 on the year, which is crazy. 19 or more points in 6 of his last 7 games when you're doing like a basic like ESPN 4-point per touchdown league. But if you do a league where you get 6 points per passing touchdown, he has 25 or more points in 6 of his last 7 games. So that's pretty juicy. And he's 40% available. And the schedule going forward for them is pretty juicy. I mean, when you have, a guy like Dalvin Cook where it's like all you have to do is dump the ball off to him on a little short pass and he can take it 15, 20, 30 yards or to the house. I mean, those are easy passing yards right there. And then, obviously you should be getting Thielen back, Diggs. We've kind of seen Kyle Rudolph emerge in the red zone too. So, yeah, I do like Kirk Cousins if he's available. 40% available. That's kind of a lot for a guy who's been pretty solid.
Right.
Who do you like?
I don't mind Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Nick Foles coming back. I think Nick Foles is even though he kind of was a backup quarterback, he's got that Super Bowl confidence, dude.
Yeah. Big Dick Nick.
Big Dick Nick. You got Big Dick Nick and Magic Minshew. Both those guys. I don't know. Maybe it's something.
Yeah. What are they putting?
What happened to Blake Bortles?
County?
What happened to Blake Bortles while he was there? I don't know, but I don't mind Nick Foles there. I think that I would think that D.D. Westbrook it would have an uptick with Nick Foles coming back. They had that kind of rapport in the offseason, their preseason, rather. I still think DJ Chark has proven pretty good receiver, and I'm sure Nick Foles is seeing on the sidelines. He's not just like watching DJ Chark get all these touchdowns, do all this work, and not gonna target him. You know, I would still think that he's going to be just as much involved, but I do think that D.D. Westbrook might have that a little bit of uptick.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said.
But
here.
but I don't mind Nick Foles.
Yeah, he's 90% available. His first game back from his week 1 injury. They're playing at Indianapolis against the Colts. Just kind of like thinking about something randomly off the top of my head, but it's like, all right, so you're just saying like he's obviously seen DJ Chark, you know, how good he is out there, so you don't think it's going to affect his value, and I think so too. I think DJ Chark is just a stud in general.
Yeah, I think
you think maybe this helps Nick Foles sitting out for 10 weeks almost, because it's like instead of like being out there taking the physical reps, he's been taking mental reps for 10 weeks now, and like really like diving into the playbook, really looking at film. You know, obviously if he's coaching Minshew up, he's obviously helping him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's just looking at the game from a different perspective almost is what I'm trying to say. Maybe this does boost him, and maybe he could be like a sneaky guy you pick up, and you said maybe the rest of the season, you know, with DD and with DJ Chark, you know, obviously Fournette's a good running back, so you know you got to focus on him as well. Maybe he could be a sneaky guy for sure going forward for the rest of the year.
Is Jacoby Brissett going to play this week?
From what I saw, I mean, he was kind of 50-50 last week, so probably just monitored again this week. But it's looking like he probably will come back this week.
Yeah, just like, you know, game script wise, I don't know. They're playing the Colts. I mean, Dolphins put up points against the Colts this past week, which is not a lot, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's not a bad matchup for Nick Foles too this week.
Yeah.
Like I have Kirk Cousins in a league.
Yeah.
I had Josh Allen. I dropped him on like a bye or something like that, and now I'm stuck with fucking Kirk Cousins.
Well, I like Kirk Cousins though.
Yeah, he's not bad, but
Bro, I just put the numbers there, dog. 19 plus in 6 of the last 7,
right.
25 plus in 6 of the last 7 for 6 points.
Yeah,
passing touchdowns.
You know what
don't
it is?
Disrespect. Don't
you know
put
what it
a little
is?
respect on his name.
I know. You know what it is? It's because I have what's his name, Lamar Jackson in almost like every league. So I'm like, dude, 19 points? I'm like, dude, you're supposed to get 40, bro.
What is this? A center for ants?
God, Lamar Jackson's just killing it for me.
Yeah. But there's a couple guys. You know, speaking of Josh Allen, he's 20% available. So like I said, maybe if you're in a league, even if you're like in an 8-man league, you know, and you had like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers, those guys are on buys. You know, he's available in 20% of leagues, and you know he's playing at Miami. And one thing with Miami is too is we struggle against rushing quarterbacks. You know, Josh Allen obviously offers that rushing upside, and still at the end of the day, Miami's not very good of a defense. So I know they've been playing better as late, and being a Dolphins fan, I like seeing that because I see the potential going forward. But they're still not a very good team, and I think Josh Allen has a pretty good game here. He's 20% available. You got Jimmy G. He's 45% available. He's going to be home against Arizona. We saw last time what he did to Arizona on Thursday night in Arizona.
It was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 300 yards, like 4 touchdowns, something crazy like that. It's the best game of the season by far for sure. You know, but now they get a rematch with them. They're at home, coming off a game where they lost last second in overtime. So I could imagine this 49ers team is going to be a little salty and going to want to come out and put up some numbers.
That, and I think some people might be like having two quarterbacks. They might be dropping Jimmy G this week after this past week's performance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I like Jimmy G. What do you think about Kyle Allen against the Falcons? Even though the Falcons just somehow beat the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Kyle Allen's 90% available. This one's tough because I'm in a league with Anthony here, and then we have a couple tough matchups with the quarterback, so we're looking at the waiver wire to see who's there, and Kyle Allen's there. It's just tough because he's so up and down. You know, he is at home, and Atlanta's. Obviously, I think they shut Drew Brees out because they had 2 weeks to prepare.
Right.
And when you do really have that extra whole week to just really focus on one team, especially a divisional team that you've seen over and over and over and over and over again. Like,
right.
You know how to defend that team. You know what to look for. So I think, that was just kind of like a recipe for disaster, for the Saints kind of. But, Falcons traveling on the road into Carolina, it could be a different scenario. I just don't know how confident I would be starting Kyle Allen. Like I say, he's just too up and down, up and down.
Right.
I mean,
if there's any good weeks to play him, I think Falcons defense is not very good, but yeah, he'd probably be on my lower tier. I just like a name worth bringing up, I guess.
For sure. This is kind of just like a thought. So Andy Dalton is because it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I could see this happening where the Bengals they switch back over to Andy Dalton. I think maybe you give Finley 1 week, kind of a rough week. We've seen it before. We saw one year. Right. I think it was the Bills. They had Tyrod Taylor. They benched him for Nathan Peterman through like the 6th pick, and then the next week it was back to Tyrod Taylor. We've seen it in different scenarios where you bench the quarterback for one game, then all of a sudden the starting quarterback comes back the next week.
Fitzpatrick James Winston fiasco that was
or
last
even
year.
The Rosen Fitzpatrick Rosen Fitzpatrick thing. Back and forth. So this is just saying if Andy Dalton was to come back, if they were like, hey, Andy Dalton's going to be the starter, he's available in 95% of the leagues, and he's at Oakland, and Oakland is giving it up the most passing yards in the NFL.
Except for last week.
Except for last week against Felipe Rios. But so this is just saying if Andy Dalton was to be announced the starter, and then also he could get A.J. Green back. So if he gets A.J. Green back and then Andy Dalton is the starter for the Bengals playing against a Raiders secondary that's pretty terrible.
Listen, he's not getting A.J. Green back.
You never know, bro. You never know.
I have a pretty good feeling.
You never know.
I'm going to say 80%.
Don't you put this on A.J. Green like you put it on Cam Newton?
No, because, listen, dude. I can see the future.
Yeah?
Yeah. Send me your lineup. Okay, I'm mentally picturing it. Yeah, you're going to lose this week.
Dude, that's fucked up, dude.
Hey, am I I texted you this and you just responded, chill. But am I undefeated against you? I don't think you've ever beat me in fantasy.
I'm trying to recall. It's you know what it is? It's like you always remember your losses more than your wins. So it's like I'm thinking about like, oh yeah, you beat me this time, you beat me this time, you beat me this time. But I have to have at least won once against you.
I don't think you
for
beat
sure
me.
I had to have yeah.
At least this year for sure you have.
I've been in the league for 4 fucking years. How have I never beat you? Not once?
I don't know, dude.
You've definitely had my number as of late, is what I would say.
The past 2 years.
I would say that. You've had my number as of late.
And
there's never beat.
You know what it is because you text me in the middle of of beating me. And you're like, yeah, dude, yeah, that's right, pussy, blah blah blah, talking all this crap. And then guess what? Fucking turn it around, baby. Your boy comes in hot. That sleeper bot league I don't really care about, but I beat you, but
whatever, dude.
I like it. I fucking like it.
Anyways, all right. So any other quarterbacks here? I mean, you got Derek Carr, 65% available. He's at home against the Bengals. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Derek Carr.
Yeah, but that's.
I'm like
you can't deny. You can't.
You on the Bucks running backs.
Yeah.
But you're right. I can't deny the numbers.
You can't deny the numbers, dude. I mean, the Bengals are just not good. I picked the Raiders in my Survivor League. Did I tell you what happened in that Survivor League?
No.
Dude, so there's 5 people left. 3 people took the Saints. I didn't, and me and Stoli both did not take the Saints.
Yeah.
I'm hyped, dude. In the morning, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Fucking just me and him. We're about to get this money, blah blah blah, and then we both picked the Colts. Fucking Colts,
dude. Going against the Dolphins, dude.
How terrible is that, bro?
Yeah.
So we just restarted it. Now we're all 5 back in.
All 5 back in.
Oh, dude. I mean, the Saints one. That's like such a big upset. Like you're not gonna get that again. Not. I mean, I don't know. I picked the Raiders this week against the Bengals.
Yeah. Not mad at it.
Yeah.
Not mad at all. Any other quarterbacks you want to touch on?
No, I'm good on the quarterbacks. We can move on to running backs.
Running backs. Who you got over there? Who's like your main guy?
I do like. I mean, I have J.D. McKissick in a couple leagues. I don't with the Devontae Freeman injury. Brian Hill's interesting.
Yeah. What is he like? He's 99% available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, 99% available. Brian Hill, the running back for the Falcons. So, just to keep you updated on the situation, Devontae Freeman left the game. I'm not sure what the injury is yet, but they're expecting him to miss some time, right?
Devontae Freeman, yeah. I mean, I think it's questionable as of right now, but he's going to be.
But with that being said, even if he does come back, he's banged up. But I guess some more news: the backup running back Ito Smith, he went to IR, so he's done for the year. So enter Brian Hill, who's 99% available. Once Devontae Freeman left, he had a massive workload. It's 20 carries, only
2 weeks,
only 161 yards, and one catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. That was Brian Hill's last game right there.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, it says Freeman could be out for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so yeah. So I mean, you're kind of looking at like a rental here, but I mean, sometimes it's like that in fantasy. I mean, last year, I know Anthony touched on it. We were having a conversation about it, but I mean, last year, like Damian Williams came out of nowhere, was helping people win championships. You know, you had Justin Jackson coming out of nowhere, you know, helping people win their championships. So, I mean, sometimes, you know, especially with bye weeks, like if you have a Saquon Barkley, you got Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, you know, those guys. Derrick Henry's on a bye, Chris Carson. You know, a lot of good running backs on byes this week. So, I mean, if you just need a guy to like, hey, I'm going to go get him, throw him in my lineup for this week, even if it's only a couple weeks. Yeah, I like Brian Hill. I mean, got 21 touches last game.
Their schedule is kind of rough, though.
Schedule is super rough.
For Falcons.
Yeah. I could say this about the schedule. I wrote it down right here. 2 of the next 3 games are going to be against the Panthers. And that's actually a really good matchup for running backs.
Right.
It's a green-rated matchup. When we say green-rated matchup, that means it's like a money good matchup. And then red-rated also, obviously, red not meaning good, like a bad matchup. So 2 of his next 3 are going to be against the Panthers, like I said. Those are green-rated matchups. But then 4 of the last 6 games for the Falcons running backs
playing the Bucks
are going to be really tough run defenses. They're going to face 3 red-rated matchups down the stretch.
But if you're getting Brian Hill and you're dropping like, I don't know, you're dropping like a Ty Johnson and picking up Brian Hill, I think, you know, you're upgrading that space.
For sure, yeah. I'd rather have a Brian Hill over like a Balaj.
Right.
You know? Balaj is like a rental too, I feel like, because once Mark Walton comes back in week 13, whatever it is, I think Balaj, he's terrible. We'll touch on Balaj in a second. But
yeah. Devontae Freeman also didn't look very good recently, as of like this past year. Like he didn't look as like I think we looked up his like elusive rating hasn't been as great.
Yeah.
So that could be like, you know, something that the Falcons need. I mean, obviously they're 2-7 now, but they're not doing very hot. Maybe Brian Hill comes in and really helps out the team. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's a good offense.
It could change the game's
good
grip,
offense.
is what
They
I'm
got good
saying.
weapons. You know what I'm saying? I mean, kind of some more news I guess we should touch on. But Austin Hooper's out this week. They already declared him out.
Okay.
So, you know, that's just more targets that the running back position can get.
Right.
You know, we've seen Devontae Freeman get, 5-6 catches here and there in a game. So, you know, the workload's going to be there for Brian Hill. So he'd probably be like my main, or at least a top like 3. I don't want to say main, but he'd probably be like a top 3 waiver priority for me this week.
Right.
What about your boy Kareem Hunt over here? He's
like
30% available.
I picked him up in like one league. I think I only got him in one. But yeah, he ended up being more involved than I think we were expecting.
Yeah, for sure. Played 54% of the snaps.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, dude, you can't dude. I think he was like leading the league in rush yards or something.
His rookie year, he led the NFL in rushing yards.
Yeah, it's like he's a really good running back, and like I know Nick Chubb's really good, and I know he's gonna be involved a little bit, but you still have Nick Chubb there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it could be Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon kind of situation where they're both able to be used. I mean, obviously they can't get it. Baker Mayfield can't fucking throw the ball to Odell,
sure, yeah.
So maybe they exploit the running game a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if Kareem Hunt's there, for sure pick him up.
Would he be like your main priority, probably?
Yeah, I would pick him up over Brian Hill.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, I agree with you. I think if you like saying Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon, you even got backfields like Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson's getting played. You got Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones.
Even the Steelers' backfield has been using 2 running backs when we have some fucking healthy ones. I mean, everybody's injured right now, but even Trey Edmonds, I think, had pretty decent, he was involved a little bit.
Yeah. I think one thing I could just say is, obviously Kareem Hunt, let's just say this. If he was on the Chiefs, he would have been a first-round draft pick, right?
Right.
If he was still on the Chiefs and that whole kicking thing didn't happen, he would have been a top 5 running back probably.
Maybe
top 5 pick.
Maybe he should have been backup kicker for the Niners.
Oh, my God. Too soon?
No way, dude. It's been over a year.
No.
We were making jokes the next day.
I'm talking about for the field goal kicker.
But I was going to say, we were making jokes the next day when the whole Kareem Hunt thing went down.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. But, no, I like it. Like I said, I mean, one thing to see here is he played 54% of the snaps, and it didn't affect Chubb's value. Chubb actually should have had a touchdown. I think he had some crazy stat where he had 5 carries from the 1-yard line, and he got stuffed on all 5 carries.
That's pretty bad.
Which is crazy. So, but even then, he still had a ton of carries. Decent amount of passing, workload, rushing yards, and all that stuff. And he should have had a touchdown. So you like seeing that it didn't really affect Chubb too much. But Kareem Hunt, he had 4 rushes for 30 yards. And then this is the crazy number right here. He had 7 catches on 9 targets. 9 targets for Kareem Hunt.
Dang.
For 44 yards there. They play this Thursday night. They're actually home against your Steelers. So, yeah, I do like Kareem Hunt here. I mean, if he's available, he'd probably be my number one. He's available in 30% of leagues. He'd probably be my number one guy
Especially
there.
PPR, that pass catching upside for sure.
Yeah.
I think you know, for a while Baker Mayfield kind of relied on what's his name, fucking Prince. Why am I forgetting his name? Tight end.
David Njoku.
Yeah, David Njoku. He kind of like relied on Njoku as like kind of like a dump off guy, and maybe they kind of do these 2 running back situations and kind of have Kareem Hunt go around like that. So yeah, I could see Kareem Hunt being super PPR valuable.
Yeah, for sure. If he's out there, he'd probably be my number one waiver party
For sure.
Because I think, you know, especially with that offense, the schedule does get a lot easier. This Buffalo Bills game was pretty much the last like tough game they've had. You know, the Browns have actually had one of the toughest schedules in the entire NFL through the first 10 weeks. So, but these last 6-7 weeks are pretty like it's flip flopped. You know, like they have like a top 5 easiest schedule. So you should be seeing a little bit more.
It's like the opposite of the Patriots.
Yeah, so you should be seeing a lot more fantasy points from this offense going forward too. Another guy right here I like, Darius Guy, 62% available. You know, he's coming off a bye. So, you know, he's had the extra time to, like, really, like I said, you really game plan an extra week for that team.
Right.
So, I mean, here's a guy I think you should just own. You know, Chris Thompson's still kind of banged up. I mean, AP's there, and he's been doing pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just thinking, I know AP's a future Hall of Famer, but if AP can get it done, you know, being as old as he is, I'm pretty sure a young Darius Guy can get it done just as good as AP is. So, and maybe this turns into, like, a backfield, a running back by committee backfield. Guys can also catch the ball, too. You know, AP's not really a pass-catching kind of guy. So, Darius Guy, 62% available. Got KALEN Balash. He's 73% available. Kind of a rental, like I said, because Mark Walton, the running back who became the starter for the Dolphins once they traded away Kenyon Drake, he got suspended for 4 games. So, last week was the first game of his 4-game suspension that he served. So, you got KALEN Balash in here. 24 touches. Like, you love seeing that.
Right.
Any running back, if you tell me here's a running back on the waiver wire is going to get you 24 touches, I'm throwing in my lineup 100% out of 100 times out of 100 times.
It seems like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But he only got 45 yards.
Yeah, that's
not.
He
He didn't even average 2 yards a touch.
You guys don't like him at all.
He's just not very good. It was painful watching the game because it's like they turn around, hike, hand him the ball, and he just runs straight into the offensive lineman back and then fall down. And then it's like
a butt fumble.
Yeah, dude. He just turns around. He just has no lateral agility. Like if he's running straight, he's fat. He's a fast, like, straight guy. So, like, he'll be, like, running to the outside super fast, and you're like, oh, he's gonna break it. And then, like, he'll try to, like, cut back, and, like, watching him try to break down is like
just
watching paint dry. It's like, yeah, it's like he's just not good. He's just not a good running back.
It's funny when we talk about guys and we bring up stats and whatnot, and then sometimes you look at guys and you're like, dude, he just doesn't have it. Okay.
So, I mean, Anthony, I know we always talk about volume is king, and, you know, if he's getting the touches, you got to play it. Obviously, he offers the upside of falling into the end zone. I mean, if he had 24 touches for 45 yards and then he fell into the end zone, he gets you 10 points, which is not bad. But, I mean, it's just gross. I mean, I guess if you need a guy, you know, like I said, you got 4 to 5 pretty decent running backs, or actually 4 or 5 like top 25 running backs realistically, probably on a bye. So if you just need someone, you're in a pinch on a waiver wire, and you're just like, hey, I need to go throw someone into my lineup. You know, they're going to be at home against the Bills. You know, if he's getting 20 touches, you know, around 20-ish touches a game, and then, you know, goal line work, Balash isn't a terrible play this week.
Right.
What about you? You got any other guys you want to touch on?
No.
I mean, you got just a couple of the names right here for me. You got Devin Singletary. He's 15% available. I know that's not widely available, but, I mean, if he's there, I would go get him and play him against Miami. I think he's going to have a monster game against the Dolphins this week. He'd be one of, like, my top plays. So just saying, if there's a chance that he's out there, 15% available, I would definitely go get Devin Singletary, and I throw him in my lineup. And then I know if Anthony was here, he'd want to touch on Rojo, Ronald Jones, the second, I think it is.
Don't do
it. Yeah, dude. But honestly, like, you just told me this with the Derek Carr situation, but the numbers are there, you know. And Ronald Jones, he's only 26% available. So, like I said, you know, he's taken in a lot of leagues. But if he's there, I'd go get him. But last week, we always touch on Ronald Jones. Like the problem was like he wasn't catching the ball.
Right.
There's no receiving upside there. But this last week, I don't know if it was the game plan. I don't know what it was, but the coaches came out and said we're gonna make him the starter. He's gonna be the main guy. And he had 8 catches on 8 targets for 77 yards. So getting incorporated in the passing game a ton. And then just some numbers on him right here. He's had a touchdown in 3 of his last 4 games, Ronald Jones. And then he's averaging 17 touches per game in his last 3 games since they came out of the bye week. So since they come out of the bye week, he's been the feature back in that offense. So, I mean,
did he get a touchdown this last game?
He did.
Nice.
I think so.
Because I saw Peyton Barber also got one.
Yeah, no, he got one, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's, if he's a guy, he's out there, I definitely want him in my lineup. Definitely a guy you could start.
Do you like J.D. McKissick at all?
That's just a tricky situation. I mean, if Ty Johnson's banged up and he's out, and then Trey Edmond, I think the other guys actually went to IR. Trey Carson, his name is Trey Carson.
Yeah.
Trey Carson went out, and it's just the J.D. McKissick show. I mean, we're talking about volume here. With certain guys, I'd rather have a J.D. McKissick in his volume over like a Balaj or, maybe even like a Brian Hill, just because he offers the receiving upside, and if he's the only running back there. Yeah, I like it. A name to keep an eye on would be Mike Davis. So Mike Davis came from the Bears. He got cut, though, once the David Montgomery started really taking over the reins over there in Chicago. But he got cut. So it'd be interesting to see if, like, Ty Johnson is banged up. I'm not sure how serious it is. I do think Trey Carson went to the IR. Kerryon Johnson's on IR. I mean, maybe they bring back a C.J. Anderson. He already knows the playbook a little bit. Maybe they go out and they get Mike Davis. So there's just a couple names to maybe keep an eye on over there. I think the Lions running back is just a wash now that Kerryon's gone.
Yeah. It's been rough. In one league I had, it's an 8-man league. That's why it sounds kind of crazy, but I had David Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, James Conner in that sleeper bot league.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sweet, right?
Yeah. Jesus.
It's like my top 3 picks.
How did you beat me?
I don't know. Oh, because someone dropped Joe Mixon and I threw him in.
Oh, dude, fuck that guy.
And I have Lamar Jackson. I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson saved me in a couple leagues.
Nice.
You should see this one league I have Lamar Jackson in. It's a 3 wide receiver double flex league, and it is rough.
Yeah. I saw something stat saying that he's on pace to break. He's on pace to score more points than Patrick Mahomes did last year.
That's crazy.
And that's crazy because last year Mahomes was like.
You think Mahomes was winning people leagues and stuff.
Well, he was.
But he's like the Patriots defense is this year.
Yeah.
At least at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So it's just crazy that Lamar Jackson's on like that Mahomes 2.0 from last year, kind of taking over the fantasy players here.
I mean, dude, I've drafted him in a lot of leagues, and I like the upside, but I didn't think he was gonna be this good.
Yeah, I was just telling people all the time with Lamar Jackson in the draft season, like you get to put a running back in your quarterback slot.
Like he's like leading. I think he's leading the AFC North in like rushing yards or something.
Yeah,
which, out of like the whole team.
Yeah,
like he has more rushing yards.
Yeah,
he has like more rushing yards than like the entire Steelers.
Yeah, that's wild. Guys, watching him out there is that spin move he did.
Oh yeah, it was wild.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, but he's gonna get hurt doing that, man.
I don't know, dude. He's built like a fucking rock. You ever see his neck? He's got no neck.
I haven't really noticed.
You ever hear him talk like, "Hey, Lamar, how'd you do it? Like, did you practice that spin move?" And he's just like,
"Those cool." Do you see those cool guy? You see those cool guy sunglasses he was wearing?
Yeah,
those are sweet.
Really fit around his neck.
Yeah, that's what he puts them on his neck, like in between. Oh, dude. Yeah, it's rough watching Lamar Jackson doing so well on the Ravens, like being a Steelers fan. But I mean, you can't
not.
But you can't lie. Like I when I watch players, remember I was talking about. I was like, dude. At first, before I seen his pro day, I wanted him to go to the Cardinals because Cardinals. I'm from Arizona. It's like kind of my NFC team. I like to watch.
Yeah.
But I wanted him to go to the Cardinals. Then I seen how inaccurate it was, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I think they still ended up with Kyler Murray. He's a fun guy to watch when it comes down to it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're touching these receivers right here. So we said one of the the biggest breaking news things from the game was Tyler Lockett. He got injured. Was it a bone contusion? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Bone contusion.
It's a leg contusion.
Leg
so
contusion.
A bone contusion, depending whether or not it's a bone contusion.
I think I saw they said there was like he had a lot of swelling around his leg. Yeah. So it was really swollen his leg.
Well, the contusions, I was just looking it up when we were sitting here talking, but it basically is like it's when you have like brown and yellow, and it's like really bad bruise. They call it contusion. Contusion is just basically, I'm pretty sure, I'm not a fucking doctor. We should have my buddy Colby on when we talk about this, because he's like in PA school. We should be talking to him on this. But but apparently it's like a basically really, really bad bruise.
Yeah.
That can, like a bone bruise.
For sure. But even then, I guess you just keep an eye on that. But if he's out, this is obviously going to boost Josh Gordon's value. He's 45% available. But even then, I would still go grab Josh Gordon.
Right.
I mean, we've seen DK Metcalf put up some pretty solid games this year, but even then, watching that Monday night game, like he dropped so many passes that I was thinking to myself, like, yo, Josh Gordon would never have dropped that. You know, like Josh Gordon wouldn't have fumbled at the fucking 1 yard line. You know, so Josh Gordon, he's 45% available. He'd be one of my main pickups in if he's out there. This is kind of just like a deep dive, but you got Will Fuller. He's 45% available. I know what you're thinking. Like, he hasn't done shit besides that one massive game. But I've said this 100 times. I would rather have him on my bench scoring 30 points instead of I'm in the playoffs now. It's week 15. I'm trying to go to the championship, and then some guy throws Will Fuller in his lineup, and he throws up a 30-burger against me, and I lose because Will Fuller scored 30 points against me in week 15 in the playoffs. You know, I'd rather pick him up, throw him on my bench. If I don't play him, it is what it is. But I don't want. He's like a home run out there. He's like a missile for someone waiting to explode. I'd rather him explode on my bench and not hurt me.
Ooh.
Instead of
I love exploding on the bench, you know what I mean?
But that's just my thoughts with that. And then this guy, I just get hyped. The more he does good, I just get hyped to it. But it's my boy Devontae Parker. You know, being a Dolphin fan, I love seeing him finally like pan out. You know, former first-round pick. It just, you know, there's always this Devontae Parker hype. And I think after so many years, he's kind of like let you down. That, you know, people just kind of slept on him, and they still have this like negative stigma with him. But he's 55% available. They're going to be home against Buffalo, so it's a tough game this week. You know, you should see some of Tre'Davious White here. But, you know, one thing we've seen with Fitzmagic is he will hyper-target a player. You know, we've seen him, you know, Brandon Marshall in the past, Eric Decker, you know, even with Mike Evans last year, you know, just hyper-targeting these receivers, you know, giving them a chance to make a play on the ball. And then just some numbers here for Devontae Parker, but 11 or more PPR points in 6 straight games. So, I mean, you're throwing him in there for 6 straight games, you're getting 11 or more PPR points for 6 straight. He's got a touchdown in 4 of his last 6 games. And in weeks 13, 14, and 15, those are all green-rated matchups. So as long as Fitzmagic is in there slinging that rock, weeks 13, 14, 15, you know, if he's giving me 11-plus points each and every week, how could you not like that, you know? Maybe I'm being biased because I'm a homer pick, but, you know, I'm always the guy who say men lie, women lie, the numbers don't lie. And the numbers right here are just money. It's just like a dream scenario for Devontae Parker. No Preston Williams either. You know, he was, you know, taking some red zone targets, and I think he actually led the team. The rookie Preston Williams led the team in targets. So, yeah, I love Devontae Parker going forward. I think he's going to be like a solid wide receiver, too. You can just throw in your lineup each and every week.
That is nice.
Nice.
What do you think about James Washington? I mean, you hit me with the homer pick. Yeah. 90 yards and a touchdown.
I still lean Deontay Johnson going forward.
Me too. I think the same thing too.
Yeah. If Deontay, what's that say up there on the how many? He's rostered. How many? Deontay Johnson's widely available, right?
16% rostered. Yeah. Deontay Johnson, 12% rostered. James Washington.
I think that was the first game James Washington even did anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Juju was like had a foot injury, so that was kind of why. To be honest, though, be weary about playing either one of these guys. Like, I'm in a situation, if you're in like a 3 wide receiver, similar to me, if you're in this position where you're in a 3 wide receiver double flex league and you need receivers like I do every week, I mean, sure, play Deontay Johnson, but this offense, the Steelers are not winning games by their offense. It's literally their defense. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick has like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that's our safety, you know? So.
Because of Savage.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that's my point, is that like it's not this high-powered offense like it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
You know? So just temper expectations when you're playing these guys. I don't mind it in a pinch, though. What do you think about these other guys I have listed up here?
I mean,
Darius Slayton.
I mean, we've touched on this a couple times. I know we've said it before, but like sometimes you get these backup quarterbacks, and obviously, you know, the starters practice with the starters, or the ones play with the ones, you know, and then you got the twos that practice with the twos, kind of in a sense, you know, the backup quarterback, backup receiver. So obviously, Eli Manning was the one in training camp and for the first couple of games. So he's getting all these reps with, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, everything. You know what I'm saying? But
with Golden Tate being suspended, don't you think I don't think he can practice and do all that.
Oh,
right?
maybe yeah, you could be right with that.
I think that's because Golden Tate actually put up like PPR wise like 23 points this week.
But just saying, like, Danny Dimes, probably the most reps he's had with the receivers, what I'm trying to get to, is with Darius Slayton. So as long as Sterling Shepard's out, I feel comfortable, especially I think at least in good matchups. If it's a good matchup for Danny Dimes and you think he can get it done, I think Darius Slayton is a good guy. He has 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games, kind of like random, but 2 touchdowns one game, and then zero touchdowns in the second game, and then 2 touchdowns this last game.
Just know if you're picking them up, they're on bye this week.
They're on bye this week. Yeah.
So just know that, like, if you're trying to do like a rental with Darius Slayton, you're not going to have him this week.
Yeah. One guy for me that I kind of like. This kind of is based around the Manny Sanders injury. I'm not sure how serious that is, but if Manny Sanders is out, Deebo Samuels, the receiver for the 49ers, finishes last night's game with 8 receptions. He had 11 targets and 112 yards. So, I mean, if Manny Sanders is to miss some type of time, I think he could actually step up. And actually, I was looking at something. They were saying that with Manny Sanders, they've actually seen like his production boost. So even if Manny Sanders is there, it could be a sneaky guy you can grab going forward. I mean, that Niners offense is still pretty good. Kyle Shanahan is an offensive mastermind.
Mr. Mind.
And then just one last guy I kind of want to touch on personally is Cole Beasley, still 74% available. I mean,
he's been my wide receiver too for like 6 weeks now.
Bro, if you're in a PPR league, he's gotten you 11 or more PPR points in 6 of his last games. So, I mean, it's just crazy to look at this. Like, there's a scenario where if you were starting Devontae Parker and Cole Beasley, you're pretty much getting 11 points from each guy consistently.
Sometimes that's great.
Which I think that's money. I think if I knew there was a guy who's going to get me at least 10 points every single week, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want these home run guys. You want your Dalvin Cooks. You want your Julio Jones, your DeAndre Hopkins, your Travis Kelce's. These guys who are monsters. Tyreek Hills. You want those guys. But when you get to these like lower tier guys, sometimes it's just about finding the guys who's not going to fuck you, where you're like, oh, I lost this week because my guy put up 4 points.
Right.
I lost by 3 because my fucking tight end got me 2 points.
All it takes is like 2 positions giving you kind of rough. Yeah, I mean, if you have everybody kind of giving you an average game, you'll win most of your fantasy games.
Yeah.
As long as you have like pretty safe floors, if you have a Kirk Cousins giving you 20 points, running back giving you average like 10, 15, and then your receivers giving you 11 points, 10 points, you should be pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, something to pay attention to.
Yeah, but it's safe floor, Cole Beasley. Playing against the Dolphins, we struggle against slot receivers, so I would not be surprised if Beasley had another 11-plus PPR points this week.
Ooh, 11 points, baby.
Trade him to me. You got him? He's got him.
I got him.
Anyone else you want to touch on for wide receivers?
Oh,
I mean, it says Demaryius Thomas up there, but I mean, how comfortable do you feel?
Not good
with Sam Darnold slinging the rock.
It's like these this list here is kind of guys that are super available. That kind of can help anybody, but in pinches. But yeah, I'd be fading putting Demaryius Thomas on my team. The Jets just like are not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're in a full point PPR league, he's been kind of like 8-ish points. So like if you're just like, hey man, I just need someone to has the pulse to throw in my lineup. I'm not mad at it, but because we've seen Robbie Anderson not be able to really connect deep with Sam Darnold. And, I don't know, that offensive line is pretty bad. So maybe Robbie Anderson's not getting enough time to like run the routes or stretch the field because Sam Darnold's getting pressured so much. So a lot of short PPR passes. I guess Jamison Crowder is pretty much the only guy you really start with confidence over there.
Yeah.
Even Le'Veon Bell's been kind of
rough.
Up or down, yeah. Who would have thought Jamison Crowder would score more points than Le'Veon Bell? I think that's what he is. He's at right now.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bell's still really good. It's just that
I think Adam Gase just sucks. He's just not a good. He's just not a good coach.
They already want him fired so
they
bad.
They should.
They make signs. They do all that. Yeah, I mean, if you're going up against the Giants and not being able to hit Robbie Anderson, you know what I mean?
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Jump into the tight ends.
Sure.
All right, so yeah, my boy or OJ Howard is 55% available. It finally came to life. 4 catches on 7 targets for I think it was 47 yards and a touchdown,
which kind of saved you.
Yeah. So decent game. I think he's like 14.7 points in PPR leagues. But, I mean, we've kind of, I know O.J. Howard was dead to everyone. And he's still dead to me personally.
Yeah,
but
I mean.
When the stars align for a money matchup like it was, you gotta send it, right? No flub?
Yeah, no fucking flub. Here's the thing, dude. You can't send it.
Fucking send it in.
You got to do it, dude. Sometimes you just got to. Playing against the Saints this week, what do you think? I think the Buccaneers, dude. The Buccaneers will have beat the Saints in upsets before.
It's true. I think the Saints come out and just shellac
After
the
just
Bucs,
getting fucking anal raped by the Falcons.
Yeah, for sure. The over. Bet the over.
Oh, maybe over.
The over. 50. Bet the over. Anyways, O.J. Howard, so he's 55% available. Even after having a monster game, he kind of did what we expected him to do. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I was like watching the game. He caught the touchdown. I think it was in like the second quarter or like the third quarter. And there's still like a ton of game left. And I was thinking like, hell yeah, like he's already got a touchdown. There's still a ton of game left.
Right.
Back and forth. It's a competitive game. They're trailing. They got to throw the ball.
Right.
After that touchdown,
nothing.
No more catches.
Yeah, man.
He just does not look his way.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like.
And even the touchdown he had, it was kind of like a broken play. It was like he was lined up outside against a corner, and like he kind of just ran an out route.
It was kind of lucky.
The corner didn't even like guard him. He was literally wide open. He was wide open.
It's like you can't not throw it to him.
Yeah. So I mean, with that being said, if I have him, I'm trying to flip him if I can.
They're like,
I don't even know if that's even an option.
You know what it is? Yeah.
But it's just gross. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable starting him in any.
You know what it was? That corner looked at O.J. Howard and they're like, Bruce ain't gonna. He's not gonna make him get this ball.
He was like, "Say I won't."
He's like, you can leave that guy open. They ain't gonna throw it to him.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I mean, you feeling comfortable throwing him in your lineup? He's 55% available. Like, let's say you got like, you got like Evan Ingram's on a bye.
Yeah,
Jimmy Graham's on a bye. I mean,
also
let's say you got those like random tight ends who are kind of like not very good.
I mean, Jonnu Smith's on a bye. Like I might have to play him again this week. What do you think about? Yeah, he's not coming back. Never mind. I added Antonio Brown in like 4 leagues, just because he's supposed to meet with the NFL this week. I haven't looked more into it. I don't think he is either, but I don't know. I've seen weirder stuff happen.
Yeah, this is why I stayed away from him. I just once that whole dilemma and drama was going on,
bro, that was so funny.
I did not want to deal with it.
You looking at your hat right there? Your eyes been cross-eyed. It looks super.
Because I have this like thing, like a fucking hair on my hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how comfortable I feel playing O.J. Howard. I know he had a good game. I guess we could touch on that more on the matches, but he's 55% available. I guess if you need a guy who's got a shot of putting up some points, he's there. What about the Messiah, a.k.a. Andre Navarro? His boy Noah Kant. He's 90% available.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantasy relevant.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some numbers the last 2 weeks, he had a target share of 27% and then a target share of 22%. So I mean, if you're getting a target share in a game of where you're getting like 20+% of the targets, that's pretty good. And then one thing you always touch on is when you get like a rookie quarterback or you get a quarterback that's not as comfortable, they tend to lean on the tight end a lot more. Obviously, Bruce Allen is the quarterback now since Joe Flacco is on IR. I think we went to IR, right? Joe Flacco?
Yeah. They threw him on
but even
IR.
then, if Drew Lock, the rookie they drafted, was to come back, again, same scenario. You got a rookie quarterback who's maybe not as confident. Maybe he leans on Noah Fant. Obviously, probably more reps. Like I said, these guys probably have had more reps together. Noah Fant has probably more reps with the Bruce Allen than, Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton, and all these other guys. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Noah Fant going forward. You kind of like it's trending in the right direction.
If he's there, for sure, get him. It's funny, man. I'm looking at all like these players that we're talking about, just looking in my league as we're going, if they're available, and they're all taken.
Yeah.
Noah Fant, God. Some people, I think it's just our leagues that we're in. It seems like people just really pay attention in all the leagues we play in.
Yeah, all my leagues are pretty stout. Like everyone's on it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes every now and then you'll find someone and I'll be like, oh shit, like these guys on the waiver wire, but like it's rare that something like that'll happen in one of my leagues.
It will slide. Yeah,
like you were saying, how someone dropped George Kittle in one of your leagues.
Yeah, that's a different league for sure.
I don't know what
He did it on a bye. He thought he could get away with it doing it on a bye, but someone found out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my best free agent pickup, I picked up Tevin Coleman in one league. Someone dropped him when he got hurt. And then honestly, I'd probably say the Steelers defense has been one of my biggest pickups from the people dropped. I have the Steelers in 4 of my 5 leagues, and
I don't have them in one.
they've just been murdering it. After the whole Minka trade, I was like, add.
You just want to watch your boy Minka.
It's just the Steelers defense is just. I'm not even a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of their defense.
Yeah.
Just because of how much playmakers they have. They've got a lot of talent. Defensive line, linebackers are good.
Dude,
Joe Hayden. I'm a fan of Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden, dude, it is pretty crazy when you think about it. Joe Hayden, that linebacker that we drafted, Devin Bush, is fucking phenomenal. TJ Watt makes plays on it's like every other play. He's like, blocking a.
You guys have Bud Dupree too.
Yeah.
Former first-round guy,
Mike
Casey
Hilton.
Hayward, Stephon Tuitt. It's like, look, I know all these guys.
Yeah.
You guys still have Artie Burns too,
Yeah.
dude. And then you just throw Minka back there?
It goes in between Artie Burns. He comes in and out every once in a while. Like he's not. Yeah.
They're just you know what, and you said it. They drafted the safety in the
The
first
past
round.
7 years we've all only drafted defensive guys in the first round.
But it just shows you like
The only one I don't like is that safety Terrell Edmonds. I don't think he's that good.
Yeah. But you were saying in the beginning of the year, you were like, dude, like we can't fucking stop the deep ball. That safety sucks. Like they're just throwing deep on us. They're going deep on us. Blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, you go get Minka, who is the ultimate like X factor.
Yeah, it closes everything
of
in.
being like the free safety. Like, no, you're not throwing deep on me kind of guy, bro. And it just like solidifies.
He's
the
cool
ring.
too because he plays free safety, but then like sometimes you'll see him up close too.
He's a savage.
He'll come up
He's a
and it reminds me kind of how Troy Polamalu, he's more of a strong safety, but but he almost plays like a free strong safety, you know.
He can play.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he comes up to the line so much that I'm like, whoa,
He's
what is this guy
savage.
doing down there?
Dude, could he win Defensive Player of the Year maybe if
That'd
he
be
keeps
sick.
this up?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's say he gets like 2 more touchdowns.
think about
and
who's-
a couple more
who's-
picks.
Yeah, who would be besides him?
I mean, it's always like a defensive lineman. I feel like.
Yeah,
I mean, but there's no one. I mean, Shaq Barrett's been pretty good. I think he leads the league in sacks.
yeah.
But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. He's going to be an All-Pro. He's going to make the first team All-Pro.
Right.
Like, what other safeties are better than him right now in the NFL?
Not that
I
can
can't really think of any. Like, he's just a monster. Anyways, we totally sidetracked on me. That's how much I just love Minka Fitzpatrick. But.
Steelers defense, pick him up. That being said, with defense, you want to move over to defenses?
Well, just one more tight end.
Yeah,
Got
sure.
Kyle Rudolph. He's 65% available. I know me and Anthony, we touched on this when we did the breakdown, but just, I was kind of looking at some of the numbers. And when Thielen hasn't been in the game, Kyle Rudolph's been a guy that Kirk Cousins has leaned on. I think he's got 4 touchdowns now in the 4 games that Adam Thielen hasn't played with a hamstring. So, and we've seen these hamstring injuries, they've, derailed a player for several weeks. So just kind of keep an eye on Adam Thielen, see if he plays or not. Obviously, if he doesn't play, it kind of boosts Kyle Rudolph's value. But even then, now maybe he's kind of built a little rapport. I guess if Thielen's in the game, now that's just one more person you have to game plan. But now maybe this opens the door for Rudolph to kind of eat a little bit more. Obviously, a red zone guy, 2 touchdowns this last week. And then the schedule going forward for Kyle Rudolph and the Vikings is pretty juicy in the playoffs.
You like Kyle Rudolph after that last game, huh?
Oh, yeah, dude. I put the little...
First touchdown prop bet,
yeah,
$5 to win 100.
Yeah, I should have did 10 just for...
Yeah, but you say that. But when are you
Hindsight.
realistically gonna put fucking?
I know.
I always think that too. When I hit those big ones, I'm like, dang, I should have put $20. It's like, okay, am I gonna really put $20 on Kyle Rudolph to get a first touchdown?
20,
of the game?
yeah. I put $5 on Kyle Rudolph, 20 to 1 to catch the first touchdown on Sunday night. So when he caught it, it was a dope ass catch too. So
it was in the tail end of the end zone, right?
Yeah,
And he
like a
toe tapped it in.
Sports Center top 10 play. I was like, oh, he's going to be $100.
Yeah, you sent me that screenshot. I was hyped for you.
Yeah. All right, we can jump into some defenses here.
Yeah, you just had Oakland this past week, and if he's available, I think they're my number 1 ad against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I mean,
Yeah, I just like an available defense, like streaming wise. If you don't have,
yeah, I mean, I guess depending if Andy Dalton's there. If Andy Dalton plays, then I probably would lean elsewhere. I'm just kind of looking over. I mean, obviously, you like Buffalo at Miami. You like.
I still like
Minnesota at home against Denver. I'd like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the highest scoring defense might be the Niners this week against Arizona. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably,
could be.
They're widely owned though. I mean.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the highest scoring, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Oakland. What did you say? Minnesota. I mean.
Minnesota. Yeah, I know they're pretty available. I think.
Do you do the Bills against Miami, or do you think Miami's kind of taking a new leaf?
Nah, I'm doing the Bills. They have no run game. If they're gonna give the ball to 20 times to KALEN Balaj, who's just gonna run 1 yard and fall down, then it's and Miami's pretty stingy against the pass. I mean, Miami, Buffalo's pretty stingy against the pass. Like I know I was hyping up Devontae Parker a bit ago, but this is a pretty tough matchup for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he didn't have that great game. But
I just realized I gotta work this freaking banquet. God damn it! Thursday night game. God damn it!
Real life problems,
bro. All right, but anyways,
so yeah, and then I mean, kind of looking at these. There's nothing that's like really jumps off the paper.
Panthers maybe against the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the Panthers at the Falcons possibly.
But it's just hard. It's just hard because it's an over/under game. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at
the Jets?
I don't mind the Jets against Washington. Yeah, and they just announced Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback. Actually, that might be one of my bigger ones. If I don't end up getting Oakland, I'll pick up the Jets for defense for sure.
Yeah, I do like the Jets.
I like doing those ballsy plays because it's funny when the other person looks at your team and they see you have like the Jets defense, who like on paper with a lot of the ads they've had is actually not that bad of a defense, but as of late, they've been blowing games. Yeah. But I think that there's you just got with fantasy, it's different, man. Like if a quarterback throws interceptions or they fumble the ball or a team just can't get stuff done offensively, the other defense is just gonna look really good.
Yeah.
So I love the Jets defense. You just can't look at it like, well, but the Rams have the I don't mind the Rams defense against Chicago.
No, I don't either.
Mitch Trubisky's just really
kind
not
of tricky.
good.
There's not really like a definitive like, oh, this is like a good option.
I think the only definitive ones to me are Oakland. I like that Minnesota one you just said. Jets. San Francisco's the one. I like the Rams. Rams. This is my Rams, Oakland, Jets, Minnesota. I like it.
I like it. I like it.
I like it. You know why?
There's testosterone high today.
That's why I like it.
That's testosterone.
I like it. I fucking like it.
Listen, dude.
All right, that's all I got. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's all I got. Anything else you want to add?
Negatron.
What did you say? Did you say the N-word?
Negatron.
Oh. What?
Dude.
Just get you in trouble.
I know. Dude, what?
Fucking send it in.
Thank you for listening to the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. This has been me, Michael Marcanio, and Tyler Revelis breaking it down for you. Episode 42, Waiver Wire for Week 11. If you would like to help us out, go give us a rate and review on the podcast app. Really helps us out, the Apple Podcast app, or even on. Can you review on Spotify? Because you use Spotify.
So
don't do it on Spotify because you can't do it. But there's a couple different apps that you can do stuff like that. That's like the Castbox app or whatever you use. So yeah, do that for us. But if you can't do that, you don't know how to if you don't know how to write a clever little review, go ahead and go subscribe to our YouTube. That helps us out too. YouTube.com/blah blah 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 blah. Just look Average Bros Fantasy Football. It will pop up. Give us a subscribe. I'll love you forever. Yeah. If you need any type
you won't.
If you need any type of help with your fantasy team, we answer any question you want to give us. That's at AverageBros_fantasy football. Now, if you want to really support us, put $10 into the Thrive Fantasy app. I think
we should start a GoFundMe account. We should be like, go throw $10 in the GoFundMe account. Can we just do that?
Yeah, I mean, they
dude,
have things.
If we could raise $5,000
we'll
to
do
go fire Adam Gase posts, or like you ever go to GoFundMe? This is totally sidetracking.
Yeah,
you ever go to GoFundMe and look at people? They'll be like, oh, I need this money, and people will just donate. People just go on GoFundMe to just donate.
Really?
People just like, oh, I just want to throw this guy $10 or something like that.
Well, this guy, iDubbbz, he used to have this series
on GoFundMe account.
Yeah, we'll start a Patreon if anything. Patreon's like, you give extra content if they become like a Patreon member. They pay you like monthly.
Yeah.
And then you like,
I'm
okay,
like,
you
yeah,
get
like,
this
I'm only
extra
gonna give
advice.
you free advice if you Patreon me.
Right.
So
You
don't
you
DM me. and
become
ask
like a
me-
Patreon member.
And ask me to be fucking available 24/7 if you're not gonna Patreon me.
Right. But anyways, what's it called? What was I gonna say?
I'm
Fuck.
starting a GoFundMe account. Fuck it. Send it.
Oh,
No
but
flow.
this guy, he started this thing called Kickstarter crap, and it was people. You know what Kickstarter is? It was like if you had like a project, they would sit there and they would like give you money to like start your company.
People like invest in you kind
So
of.
yeah, so like he had this. He would just call it Kickstarter crap, and he'd like find really shitty ones, like like kids wanting to become like a YouTube gamer. And they're like, yeah, buy all this equipment for me. And it's like, dude, just fucking get your phone out. I don't know. He just shits on it, but it's really funny. But yeah, people make careers making fun of other people's attempt to make careers. I don't know.
I mean, we make fun of Kalen Balaj. Is kind of the
Yeah,
same thing,
support us making fun of Kalen Balaj. Anyways, yeah, put $10 into the Thrive Fantasy app, okay? Thrive Fantasy, it's a daily fantasy app. Sign up using promo code Average Bros. Throw at least $10 in. They'll front you an extra $10 so you can gamble and win big daily fantasy money like me and Anthony is.
Yeah. The GoFundMe.com.
The Average Bros.
Average Bros.
The Average Bros podcast was brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this helps. And
Fucking send it in.
we're out of here.